Hi, we are going to look at lesson 3.2, which focuses on zeros of linear functions. This particular video, we're just going to talk about what a zero of a linear function is and look at some other terms for it. So let's get started. So what this says here is it says solution or root of an equation is any value that makes the equation true. A linear equation has at most one root. You can find the root by graphing its related function, and to write the related function for an equation, replace 0 with f of x. So pretty much all this is saying is if you have an equation, and let's say that we have the equation y equals, we'll just say 4x plus 4. We have this equation. It's saying that there is a value that makes this equation true, but it makes the equation true when you set y equal to 0. All right, and then when they go on and they say that you can find this by graphing its related function, that's because when you graph this equation, and this equation is going to look something like, I don't know, something like this. All right, where it's going to go through the point 0, 4 here, and then it will go through the x-axis at the point, I believe, -1, 0. All right, so what this means is where it crosses the x-axis, which is right here, is where you're going to find its root, and another term for that is the 0 of it. All right, that's the 0 of it. So when they talk about the 0 of it, they don't talk about the 0 for the y-intercept. They're talking about the 0. They're talking about where does it cross your x-intercept. And if you think about it, that makes sense because you're making y 0. And so numerically, the way you do this is you would just figure that out by going 0 is equal to 4x plus 4. Then you would subtract 4 from both sides. You get 4x equals -4, divide both by 4, and that's how I got x is equal to -1, because I did that in my head really quickly. So that's the basic idea of what a root of an equation is. It's the solution for it, and linear equations only cross the x-axis in one place. That's what makes them a linear equation. It's a line. In order to do it more, it would have to bend, and if it bends, it's not a line. All right, and then the other thing it talks about is to write the related function for an equation, replace 0 with f of x. So basically, also you would replace y, right? So if you have this y equals 4x plus 4, you would say f of x equals 4x plus 4, and it's that simple. All right, so let's just look at what we got over here really quickly. Values of x for which f of x equals 0 are called zeros of the function f, all right? And we kind of went over that. The 0 of the function is located at the x-intercept of the function. That's our big important thing. So on this graph here that you see, you can tell clearly that it crosses the x-axis at that point. So the 0 of your function would be where x equals 4. Okay, that would be your 0 of your function. And then so it says 4 is the x-intercept, so that's one way of saying it. It's its x-intercept. It's the solution. It's another way of saying it. Root or 0. All right, and then they kind of all have like some different ways they're writing this, but it all comes down to basically sort of the same kind of thing. So don't overthink it. It's the solution to the equation, and you can find that by graphing it. Algebraically, it's a lot easier to find it, but we're focusing on graphing today, all right? But most of you should be able to figure out, at least with a problem like this, that if you have an equation like that, 2x minus 8 equals 0, you should be able to check your answer by just moving things around a little bit and then see that x equals 4, all right? So that's a way you can do that and check that. All right, we are going to stop right there.